Hi, it's Chris here from Truly Holistic. In this video, I'm going to show you a quick demonstration on using one of my healing systems I've created, which is called Intuitively Aligned. And I've called it that because obviously you're going to be using your intuition to figure out where you've got a mechanical or structural misalignment, or how a chiropractor would call it a subluxation. And align because we're restoring alignment, okay? And obviously I'm a quantum healer and we work on energetically everything being in alignment, in regards to being centered through the heart and connected at a higher level, a higher self and consciousness, to bring that guidance through, which is going to be a part of this because you're going to learn, if you're somebody that hasn't dowsed before or doesn't know how to connect intuitively, well, this system is also catered for people like that because we've got an instruction booklet that comes with it that explains and teaches you how to become more intuitive and more guided, whether you want to use a pendulum or whether you want to use dowsing rods or divining rods, what they used to use back in the day, looking for to dig for wells, to get water on farms. It was a common place for that, decades ago or 100 years ago. And also I'm going to teach you how to do muscle testing if that's not something that you're not really keen to do, dowsing with a pendulum or rods, so you can learn how to muscle test. And once you learn those things, it's not going to be just valuable for this system, but it's going to be valuable for the rest of your life in regards to removing the doubt out of what my body requires and what I need. Just as simple as going to the supermarket and picking up something and you can muscle test to see if that's the right food for your body or not. So it's very beneficial in a number of ways, and that's just the intuition aspect. Now this system works on, as I said, correcting mechanical and structural misalignment, and I'm pretty sure everybody at some point in their life is going to suffer with back pain or neck pain. And this system caters for that in regards to you becoming empowered to do the healing yourself. You don't have to go and see a chiropractor. You don't have to see an acupuncturist. You don't have to see an osteopath. You don't have to see a bowing therapist. You don't have to go and get surgery. You can prevent surgery. And with this system, and this system's very close to my heart because I was somebody that suffered with severe neck problems and lower back problems. It was controlling my life. And all those people, those professions I just spoke about before, I've been to all of them. And did I get relief? Yes, but temporarily. And like all of us, we're looking for that long-term fix, right? That cure. And for me, it wasn't until I got into this type of healing work that I was able to heal that issue. I don't suffer with neck pain anymore. I don't suffer with back pain anymore. And it was all due to this type of work, and hence why I created the system, because I know there's a lot of people like I was out there who you feel vulnerable when all of a sudden you come down with a migraine headache because you've got a disc or a vertebrae out of alignment in your C-spine, or your skull's out of alignment, and you start to get the symptoms of that migraine or blurry vision and so on, and you're vulnerable because what can you do in that situation? You might not be able to get an appointment to see a chiropractor or osteopath until a few more days. And you're out for the day. You just have to take painkillers and you have to sleep it off. Well, what I'm telling you here is that fear is going to be removed because you're going to feel empowered to have the control in your hands. It's up to you. That when you get in those situations, you can heal yourself. And that's powerful. I did that to myself, and a number of people that bought this system from ages from 20 up to in their 70s have all bought the system, and it's successful for them. And these are some people that already were intuitive and knew how to dowse, and some people that didn't know how at all, and they were starting from scratch, and the systems worked for them. So you get an instruction booklet, you get a whole lot of charts here. You get a little energy tool, which I called an ascension wand, which you can use to dowse with, but it's also just amplifies your intent. And sometimes we need something, we've got all this energy within us, but sometimes we need something tangible, something physical in our hands that just gives us the trust that that's going to bring through the energy for us. But really the energy comes through you. So this is just a training wheel or a guide for that. So now I'm going to show you a demonstration of the system. And again, it's not just about the spine, the neck and the back. You can align out your olecranon in regards to the elbow, or the radius ulna of the wrist. You can align your ankle bones. You can align a femur or any issue you have in regards to your knee misalignment or hip misalignment or your pelvis. So it's all catered within the system. So what I'm going to do with the system now, my mother Jane here has, who's behind the camera, is we're going to check her now to see what needs to be done for her. So as I said, we use this system for alignment issues, but there are also aspects of inflammation we can remove, or releasing a pinched nerve that's been pushed on by a bulging disc or a prolapse disc or a disc being out of alignment. We can work on hydrating the disc, because after a while gravity has its effect, and the discs between your vertebrae are just filled with fluid, and sometimes it loses its fluid, and we just want to rehydrate those discs, so we can do that. We can scan the body and work just to facilitate flow into an area using this particular device here, this wand. And we can also work on posture. We can work on people that have got scoliosis or lordosis or kyphosis issues. And also just work on just getting you more in line, because once you've got more in alignment with posture, the misalignments are going to be very far and few between, okay, because they work in tandem. So let's start. So I'm going to use my hand, and this is how I dowse, but again, you might be wanting to use a pendulum. You can use dowser rods, muscle testing. You can actually use this on a piece of string or cord and use this as a pendulum. So here we go. Now, for Jane, please, my mother Jane, what do we need to do for Jane, please? So straight away, it's going circling alignment. And again, the way I dowse it is a very advanced form. I do this as a profession, day in, day out. So, but again, I also have videos with this system. If you're somebody that needs to see it done to learn instead of read it, I show you again how to use a pendulum and all those sorts of things from scratch, and within those videos as well. So what do we need? What needs aligning for Jane, please? Jane Refurbished, what does she need alignment for? Okay, which one, please? So it's going to disc, so it's circling disc. So we go to the chart that's got disc, and what disc needs to be aligned for Jane, please? Okay, so you can see I'm trying to scan the chart, but it's taking me here. See, I'm trying to push to the right. There's no way I can go over there. So it's going to this one. Okay, any other disc, please? Any other disc? Okay, so it's going to the top two discs in the neck. Anything else for Jane, please? So straight away, see, it's going to nothing. Okay, it's going off the chart. So the first two discs, we're going to align for Jane now. Okay, and what we do, now with this here, and this is what you're going to use, you can either point this at the area that you want to align, or just through visualization. This is the power of imagination, okay? And as adults, imagination was bred out of us, and it was replaced with escapism, okay? Little kids, full of imagination. They can create anything. They can play with anything. They don't need materialistic things. That's the power of imagination. Okay, so what you could do here, instead of pointing at it, let's say you were doing distance work and the person wasn't there at the time. You can just hold this, close your eyes, visualize that person's neck or that person, and you're going to send the intent that way. So here we go. So I'm just going to hold it. For Jane's disc between vertebrae C1 and C2, alignment true, please. For Jane's disc between vertebrae C1 and C2, alignment true, please. Okay, just a simple intent. Align the disc between C1, C2 back to its correct position, size, shape, form, and alignment, please. Cool. So what we're going to do now, we're going to align the next disc. So I use myself, you can actually see that I'm using my body as muscle testing, like a pendulum. So you watch it when I do this next disc. You'll see me kind of staying put or being pushed forward. If I'm being pushed forward a lot, it tells me that that's out quite badly. And then you'll notice that I rock back once, and that's how I know the clearing's working and when it's done. And we can do this. This is muscle testing. It's very easy and we can show you how to do it. So for the disc between vertebrae C2 and C3 for Jane, alignment true. For the disc between vertebrae C2 and C3 for Jane, alignment true, please. So I can feel that. I can feel that that one's out relatively. It's not just out of alignment, it's out quite a bit. And again, I can feel it because, again, I'm very sensitive to this work. But this is where you can get to. Some people will be very sensitive straight away. Some people, it will take time. For the disc between vertebrae C2, C3, alignment true for Jane. So I'm still in the rock back. So that's done. So let's just check again. Now, is there anything out of alignment for Jane here, please? No, straight away, so that's back in alignment. So what we're going to do now is, because it went to alignment, we're going to go back to our home page in regards to the whole skeletal system. And we're going to ask again, is there anything else out of alignment for Jane, please? My mother Jane. Okay, so it's going to vertebrae. Okay, so now we go to the vertebrae. What vertebrae is out of alignment for Jane, please? Here? Here. Okay, anywhere else? So it's just the vertebrae C2. So again, for the vertebrae C2 for Jane, alignment true, please. For the vertebrae C2, alignment true, please. Alignment true. Okay, so that wasn't as bad, so that's done. Anything out of alignment? Okay. Again, we'll go with alignment. So what else is out of alignment for Jane Marie Favish, please? For Jane. Okay, so that's looking pretty good now. I'm just going to see. Now, sometimes it will focus on one area of the body and just wants to get everything done then, and then it will move on. So let's go back to the diagnostic chart. What else do we need to do for Jane, please? Because as I say, this system's not just about realigning mechanical structural misalignment, but also the things that come with that, like inflammation and all these other things. So it's going to the intention chart. What intention do we need to make, please? What intention do we need to make? So it's circling calcification, okay? So we're going to find out, now calcification mimics the mineral calcium. It's more like an infection. Like, for example, a perfect example of severe calcification is arthritis, when the joints just go solid and you see all this bony, rock-hard material being formed in a joint, and that's called arthritis. Okay, so that causes pain as well. So if there's pain, there's usually calcification involved. So let's find out whereabouts in the skeletal system is calcification. Whereabouts, please? Somewhere here. Which one, please? Here, here, anywhere else? So it's going to vertebrae. What vertebrae, please? Okay, anywhere else? Okay, so here we go. Same thing, just using intent. I'm going to use this. For the vertebrae C2 for Jane Marie Favish, calcification false, please. Neutralize, uninstall and delete all intent, purpose, manifestation of calcification in regards to that vertebrae C2 for Jane, please. Okay, so that's done. Okay. Now, we're still looking for calcification in regards to Jane. No. Again, we go back to the posture, the home page. Where do we need to go to next for Jane? So now it's going back to alignment, because Jane before the call mentioned that she was having issues with her neck, but also her back. So let's just go back to here. What needs alignment for Jane, please? Here. Okay, so vertebrae. And what vertebrae needs alignment for Jane, please? Circle. Now Jane, who's behind the phone here, in regards to the camera, is very sensitive as well, and she can do this type of work too. So I tell you, it's a lot easier than what you think to do. Again, like anything, just takes time and persistence. Okay, so here, okay, anything else? Circle, please. Okay, yep, anywhere else, please? Okay, anywhere else, please? Okay, so it's going L1, L2, L3. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, for the now you want to be, when you're your intent, it will work better if you're more specific. Because we've got 3 vertebrae, we could say, let's align all 3, but you're going to get a better healing if you do it one at a time. So here we go. In regards to the vertebrae L3, alignment true for Jane, please. Align the vertebrae L3, please. L3, alignment true. Good. Now I'm going to use the other method because, as I said, Jane, we're working on her. She's behind with the camera. I'm going to use it the other method, and we're going to point to the area. So here we go. Now for the vertebrae L2, alignment true for Jane, please. So it's pushing me forward. For the vertebrae L2, alignment true, please. Okay, so it's clearing. Now you'll notice it's rotating. That's not me doing that. That's just the energy coming out, which is a vortex. Now a vortex is the geometry of flow. So usually an area is a problem because there's a congestion of energy and we're just enabling more flow to the area. So here we go. For the vertebrae L1, alignment true for Jane, please. For the vertebrae L1, alignment true, please. Okay, so it was pretty good. Okay, anything out of alignment? Perfect. What else is out of alignment for Jane regarding her back, please? So it's going to disc. What disc, please? Circle, please. Okay, this one here. Okay, any other, please? Yeah, any other? So these 2 discs here, again, that same area. What I'm just going to ask Jane now, do you have any impingement or sharp pains going down the legs right now with what you got?
I have in the last couple of days.
Okay. So this system also caters for that too, because we've got charts about the spinal nerves too. But let's align these discs. Okay, for Jane's disc between L2 and L3, alignment true. For the disc between L2, L3, alignment true for Jane, please. Good. Yeah, that was quite a lot of energy. For the disc between L1 and L2, alignment true for Jane, please. Now, another reason why the system is very close to my heart as well is because it's a family thing. Jane here, my mother, can do this work. Anything else? But also her mother, so my grandmother, was kind of our first instance with a dowsing kind of rod. It was what you call probably a V rod or a Y rod. It was made of whalebone, and she used to use her intuition to find out where there was a misalignment. So I was kind of brought up in that. So it's great that we can continue doing that in regards to her memory and honour as well. Where do we need to go to now for Jane regarding neck and back misalignment? Okay. Now, anything to do with nerves currently that we need to work on? Okay, that's good. So there's no pinched nerves. Okay, that's good. Now, just to let you know, Jane does have a history of nerve involvement in sciatica and those issues for quite a number of, for a long time. So sometimes with nerves do take a wee while to heal, and sometimes depending on how long they've been pinched for or compressed on, sometimes there can be a damage that may be there for the rest of your life. So at the moment, I can't pick up anything in regards to an intent needing to release a nerve. Now, is there anything else we need to do in regards to Jane, please? So it's saying no, we can leave it. So we don't need to look at hydrating discs or any of the additional stuff. So that's it. So I wanted you to show you an example of how to use it. And as I say, that this has worked wonders not only for myself but for a number of people. And to have this empowerment, to know that you can do it, you don't have to rely on anybody. You think about the amount of money that you can save, the amount of money it costs to keep going to chiropractors and acupuncturists and osteopaths and all these people. What about all the medications, and some people need to stay on medication, so depending how chronic the problem is. Because as I say, a lot of the systems, the work we do here at Truly Holistic is about the long term. And sometimes we need short term things to help us along the way, because you need to be in comfort, right? But we've had results on the short term where people have got results immediately. We've got people that we're still working on and they're getting better and better all the time. It's been wonderful to facilitate this type of healing. And we want to go that extra step further and give you an opportunity to be empowered to heal not only yourself, but you can heal your family members as well, and do kind of what I've been brought up in my family to do, through 3 generations. So if you are interested in this system, go to my website at trulyholistic.net. I'll leave a link below the video. And you'll see on the products page that I've got this system amongst another system there as well, but hopefully we'll do a demonstration of that another day. Post any comments below if you've got any queries or questions about this. It's a great investment for your health, especially if you suffer with back and neck issues. Till next time, bye.